Should everybody post media, messages, and that kind of stuff online? And is it a good way to lead? Is it supplement? Is it the main way of doing it? Because we see that we've got so many amazing preachers all across Asia, well, all around the world, everybody, right? And yet, it's kind of the feeling that there's not room for everybody online because there's just a lot of people, right?
Well, it's true. There's not room if everybody's sermon is, 5 hours long too. But
That's a good point.
the thing is, you're already preaching anyways. You already have it recorded. Most people do, I'm assuming. So I would say put information out there as often as you can, but just keep it short and succinct. I think the biggest problem we have is that just the time that it takes to edit down whatever it is that you've done. That's usually the main issue. But
That's true.
The thing is, you've already put the work into the message. You already have it produced.
Right.
Why not put it out there?
Right. So then from our perspective, basically we're making podcasts for our Victory Asia platform. We want to not only encourage and help resource, but also to give all of our guys kind of a feeling of what's going on.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's not just us talking, we have to listen as well, right? And we're listening all the time, and that always comes from social media. The last couple of posts that Ralph put up, I posted the one on our chat, and then Pastor Rich posted the next one on our chat, because he does really good stuff, right?
Yeah.
And it is like succinct, like you say, and then it's also interesting, and he tells a story, and that's a huge thing. Even when you're preaching in the pulpit, you've got to have an engaging story or an engaging way of getting your message across. Then from our perspective, like we make these podcasts every week and post them on Thursdays. Figured that was the best day. And then the thing is, the challenge always is to make sure that guys are getting it, right? And we haven't found a perfect social media platform yet, right?
Yeah.
We do the message thing, and then you put it on a messenger, and that's great. And then some people start liking it, and then some comments start coming, and it just moves up, and nobody sees it again, right? Or you put it on the Facebook page that we made for that, the group, and unless Facebook delights in putting that up on your feed and showing it to you, you're not going to see it unless you intentionally go there. And then YouTube, it's the same thing. Like you've got to be on YouTube, and then you've got to have the notification bell dinged and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So that's a huge challenge.
Well, we could solve it by making more work for ourselves by making our own Victory Asia app, and then
That's true. That's true.
Make sure everybody gets their notifications when we post anything. But I think with all of this stuff, it's the same as any principle for anybody who's interested in learning. If learning is part of my culture, it's part of my plan, then I'm going to search for the things that I feel are going to be of benefit to me. So for me, even though I don't have Facebook, I'm not on Facebook. When people send a clip like that, I'll often forward it to Matt or to somebody and say, "Can you play it for me on your Facebook?" Because I want to see it.
Nice, Beck.
And then the podcasts are on YouTube, right? So then I can always find them on your channel. But the point is, for any person, learning has to be your responsibility. What we do on our end is we can do what we can to get the message out there, because every relationship, the foundation of relationship is actually communication. The connecting point is communication, the words that you speak to each other, right?
Right.
So these are important for keeping our heart, our purpose, our passion, our focus all on the same page. We do what we can, and the rest of it has to be up to the individual to really make the time and space to learn.
Yeah, that's true. It really does. I've noticed some leaders will kind of like command you to listen to these things.
Doesn't always work.
It doesn't always work. But sometimes you feel like, we got to get people to listen to stuff. That's why we're doing it. Or do we make it more delightful to listen to, like easier to listen to? We've got to make it good.
Yeah.
That's the huge thing. We've got to make it good.
Yes.
It doesn't mean it has to take a lot of time, and there has to be a lot of special effects or whatever, imported media and that kind of stuff, but it has to be engaging, right? And when people are talking like this, two people are talking, it is engaging normally. Like there's something about it that people like to listen to that.
Because you feel like you're a part of a conversation as opposed to being preached at, right?
Right. Unless you're in a hurry.
Right. And then
to go somewhere, and then it seems to kind of go slow.
Yeah.
I like producing these because, we don't have a church that we preach in every Sunday anymore. Used to, and that was fun. Like I like that because you got to stay sharp, And this is one way that keeps me sharp, keeps me engaged, and that kind of thing. Keeps me always listening, and then thinking and producing stuff that is going to be beneficial. One of the things that I think, that I wonder, and I don't know because the self-awareness probably isn't at that level, is that are we continually saying the same things over again, or does our message change enough to be engaging and that people feel like I've got to listen to the next one because there's going to be something new? The original pastor we had, you knew what he was going to say every Sunday. As soon as he got up there, is that an issue? Like that we're not bringing enough fresh stuff? But I think the solution to that is not necessarily to try harder, but to get more input from you guys, right? Like, I got to say that when I get a podcast idea, 90% of the time, it's a response to something somebody told me. And you're thinking, you know what? Here's an answer for that, right?
That's where it comes from, is the current challenges and issues and, things that you're facing in the moment. Because it's real. And then that's...
that's right. And next year might not be valuable, but usually it is. But the thing is, on my YouTube channel, there's 1,000 videos on there now, message videos. Awesome. And there's ways to search the playlists to go back and find certain things that you might need. So if you're having an issue with something and you're wondering how we deal with it, well, there's two things you can do. You can just ask me directly, or you can go back there and look for it, because we've dealt with a lot of even touchy kind of subjects. So
the point is, these are for our benefit. And I mean, even for myself, I go back and I listen to them, and I find sometimes too, when we're facing something with the students that we're leading or with different teams, there's sometimes where I'll just take a clip out of a video from something you've done with, Pastor Rich or with Pastor Joseph, and I'll actually clip it and send it to people and say, can you listen to this? Because then you don't have to re-preach. And the other benefit of that too is sometimes people have a more open ear if it's not coming from you directly, I find sometimes I'm saying something, 50,000 times, but people don't catch up or pick up on it until somebody else says the same thing. It almost,
that's so true.
It's just, I don't know why, but that's how it works.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Do we become too familiar, that people kind of zone out? We're producing a lot of stuff, and we're waiting for your responses and so on. And
let us know if there's something in particular
exactly
you want us to cover.
One of the things that you did a little while ago on that video, one of the videos that Rich and I did, is you put little fill in the blank. That was so cool. I really like that.
Well, the thing is, because I didn't want to give the answer away, and the truth is, every time I listen to the podcast, I mean, even the ones that we do, I was having an issue with something the other day, just with communicating something, and so I went back to an old podcast, and it was actually you and me, and I was listening to it, and you don't even remember some of the things that you say in the moment, but there was some really good nuggets in there, you know? So then I'm just typing it out again, and this is what I learned from us, because the thing is, there's so much good information in there, and I love how much content is out there, but the thing that I love about coming back to the Victory Asia platform always is that this is our family, it's our heart, it's our people, it's the stuff that we're dealing with every day. There's a lot of good leadership content, but some of it you don't really use in the context of what's going on here. So this is always in context, for our culture.
And the context I find, especially lately, because I listen to a lot of podcasts, because you want to know, you want input, but I find that the difference between a leadership guru, leadership organization, coaching organization, and Victory Asia is that family element. Like our relationships go so much deeper than 9 o'clock in the morning till 5 in the afternoon punch out, and I find that it is totally different. And the other thing too is that, and a lot of YouTubers will say this, social media people will say this, is speak to your niche. Don't try to be too broad.
Talk to everybody,
And when we think about it, that's the only people I'm speaking to is you guys on Victory Asia platform. And other people do tune in and listen to it, and they'll get a blessing from it as well, and that's fine. But the truth is that we're doing this for our Victory Asia family.
Amen.